I'm sure glad that Senator McCain stepped in behind Mayor Giuliani. But what I'm going to talk about today is an action plan. When you take a look at time, the ebbs of sand move, and you can't recapture those. And we saw one of those moments this week with losing one of our own in Prescott, Arizona, Caleb Mueller. And one of the things that I want to highlight is in front of the Senate Armed Services and Foreign Affairs, a number of our foreign dignitaries from the past gathered to talk about this problem. And that same problem is this president. He feigns to talk about what is here, what is knocking on our door. Every which way, workplace violence, random acts of violence. It's got to stop. But it's got to meet a crescendo. And I hope that after what you see here, you're going to light a fire under Congress. You need to light a fire under Congress, both the House and Senate, because time is ticking. But I think there's some really poignant terms that we need to hear. There's a great voice of Henry Kissinger, who probably knows more about nuclear arming, disarmament than maybe anybody. And I want to quote him. Nuclear talks with Iran began as an international effort to deny Iran the capability to develop a military nuclear option. They are now essentially a bilateral negotiation over the scope of that capability through an agreement that sets a hypothetical limit of 1 year on an assumed breakout. The impact of this approach will be to move from preventing proliferation to managing it. Let me repeat. The impact of this approach will be to move from preventing proliferation to managing it. How do you do that? Iran has been a consummate poker player with America. Any deal has got to have oversight by Congress. It has to be torn apart. It has to be looked at every single step of the way. And it's got to be able to be either brought down or held up by Congress. That is key. It's time to call Congress, call the Senate, call the House members. Go out and make an appointment to see them. Make sure that this deal is not a bad deal and that we actually have Congress overseeing it. Let's ramp it up. Sanctions, when you go to play a game, you put sanctions on the table. You don't play from a weak hand, you play from a strong hand. With the price of oil, you have an opportunity. Strategy. The general knows all about strategy. It's an opportunity. We must continue to demand accountability from our leaders. But make no mistake, time is not our friend in this issue. And so we sit at that razor's edge. Thank you.